Welcome to Ritual and Remedy RX. Drum of the earth, breath of the body, spirit awakening with Dr. Janelle Clayton. Medicine flows through bone and breath, through rules and rhythm. Remember your body, remember your medicine, remember who you are. Ritual and Remedy RX, where healing becomes ceremony.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to Ritual and Remedy. I'm Dr. Janelle, and today we're talking about something that lives quietly underneath a lot of women's experiences with each other. Today's episode is about what some people call the witch wound, and what I sometimes playfully call the bitch wound. It's that subtle tension that can show up between women. The hesitation to trust, the fear of being judged, the instinct to compete rather than to collaborate. And while it might show up in everyday ways, misunderstandings, gossips, comparisons, or grudges, it often has much deeper roots. Historically, women have not always been encouraged to trust one another. In many cultures, women who were powerful, intuitive, outspoken, or independent were labeled as dangerous, strange, or even threatening. In European history, we see the witch trials where women who practiced healing or lived outside traditional norms were persecuted. But versions of this pattern exist across all cultures. When women are divided from each other, it becomes easier for the systems of power to control them. Over generations, that dynamic can create a kind of collective memory, an inherited caution about standing too close together or sharing too much of our power. When we talk about this in modern language, some people refer to it as the witch wound. But I also like to call it the bitch wound because sometimes it shows up that reflects that edge we feel towards other women before we even know them. It's not always intentional. It can be protective, learned, or unconscious. And this is where cultural context becomes really important, especially for women of color. For many women of color, relationships with other women are shaped not only by our gender expectations and experiences, but also by our histories of racism, colonialism, migration, and survival. In some communities, women were forced to compete for resources, safety, or recognition in environments that were already unequal. In other contexts, women were expected to be strong and resilient while also navigating cultural expectations about respectability, loyalty, or silence. These pressures can make trust complicated. Sometimes women carry unspoken, don't challenge the group, don't expose vulnerability. But those messages can also create distance between us. At the same time, many cultures of color have incredibly powerful traditions of sisterhood, auntie networks, community, grandmothers, and collective care. These traditions remind us that women supporting one another is not new. It's actually very ancient. What we're doing when we talk about healing the witch wound or the bitch wound is really about remembering those traditions of trust and bringing them forward again. One of the first steps in breaking this cycle is learning to recognize our triggers. Another woman who reminds us of something difficult from our past, maybe someone who feels confident, outspoken, or different from us, we can feel tensions arise. Instead of assuming the worst about that person, it can be helpful to pause and ask ourselves, what is this feeling actually about? Is it about this moment, or is it touching on something older? Something our reactions are really about past experiences, times when we felt excluded, judged, or misunderstood. Becoming aware of those patterns gives us a chance to respond differently. Another step is to practice intentional trust building. Trust doesn't mean instantly sharing everything with everyone. It means allowing relationships to develop gradually with honesty and mutual respect. It means celebrating other women's success rather than seeing them as threats. It means listening deeply when another woman shares her story. And it means allowing ourselves to be seen as well. Sisterhood isn't about pretending we're all the same. It's about recognizing that our differences can actually strengthen our community when we approach them with curiosity instead of suspicion. Breaking the cycle of the witch wound or the bitch wound requires courage because it asks us to move beyond patterns that have been reinforced for generations. But every time a woman chooses to support another woman rather than to compete with her, something shifts. Every time we offer kindness instead of criticism, something shifts. Every time we create a space for honest conversation, something shifts. It doesn't happen all at once. It happens through small moments of connection that slowly rebuild trust. Before we close today's episode, I want to share today's ritual and today's remedy. Today's ritual is a sisterhood reflection. Think about a woman in your life who has supported you, inspired you. Send her a message, say thank you, or simply acknowledge the impact she's had on your life. Gratitude strengthens the bonds between us. Today's remedy is trigger awareness and compassion. The next time you notice yourself feeling defensive, competitive, or guarded around another woman, pause for a moment and breathe. Ask yourself, what might be underneath that feeling? Is there an old story or experience being activated? Instead of reacting immediately, allow yourself to respond with curiosity. Healing begins when we choose understanding over assumption. And that's today's ritual and remedy. Thank you for spending this time with me. I'm Dr. Janelle, and this is Ritual and Remedy. I'll see you on the next episode.
Ritual and Remedy RX, where healing becomes ceremony. Earth below, sky above, medicine rising through my blood, where science meets spirit and healing becomes real. Body awaken, spirit alive, the medicine lives inside. Ritual and remedy inside. Ritual and Remedy RX. This is a space for transformation, for truth, for embodied wisdom. Ritual and Remedy RX. Align your body. Awaken your medicine.